Well, I get that. Okay, it's all right. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands. Susan is ill tonight, so she's not gonna be here, so I can hopefully get us through this. Committee meetings, Monday, April 17th, 2023. We'll start with Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Mayor. Call Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:01. Myself, Conrad, Ronnie Pierce, Worthcup, and Keel are present. Under old business, FY 24 budget draft. I think everyone has kind of seen that. And then along in conjunction with that, you'll find the 24 budget and appropriation ordinance. Now, that appropriation ordinance is strictly for information purposes only tonight. There's no motion or anything to go with that. There will be a hearing held on May the 1st at 5:45. Did I get that right, Tim?
That's right. Yep.
Which will be a public hearing on the appropriations ordinance. And so that's when you will do that business on May the 1st at 5:45. And then that will be on the agenda for that May's council meeting. Is that correct, Pam?
That's correct.
Okay. So that's all we have on the old business. Under new business, approval of prior month's minutes from March 20th, 2023. Like to entertain a motion to approve those. So, second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, previous notes are approved. CD, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I think so. I'm sorry, I was gonna say something.
Thank you, Bob.
No, I did.
Oh. Okay, CD information is part of your packet. You can see the different CDs that we do have. There are some notes in there of possible additional funds that could possibly go into the CDs. And then you've got a breakdown in there also, Pam, of who's paying what on the CDs, I believe.
On the new options,
Yes.
correct.
Is there a motion needed to go ahead and try to invest some of that?
There is, you have to make a decision. There's City Hall Code and Planning and then Economic Development. You can see the amounts there that are listed. There's two different terms, a 6-month term, a 1-year term, and then the rates of each of the banks. So
So it looks like in the City Hall Code and Planning, you've got $500,000, is that correct?
correct,
100,000 in economic development. That also correct?
yes. And then you've got the terms for 6 months listed by bank and the term for 1 year listed by each bank.
That's right. So on both of those amounts for the 6 month, Dietrich is paying 4.7. Unit Vista 3.97 and North County Savings 4.06.
Correct.
We have a motion to go ahead and invest those funds.
Which amount, which length of time, the 6 of them.
The max we thought we could go was 1 year, so your options are 6 months or 1 year.
What do we do with the last one? Year?
We did a year.
Yes,
Some are at 6 months and some are at a year.
Looks like the highest rate we get is the 6% or a 6 month teacher, so.
would it make sense to invest it for 6 months and get at the end of the 5th month, we might do it again, right?
Yeah,
Once your rates going down. Okay, so do we have a motion for the 6 month?
6 months of teacher paying, so.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, in further discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, so we'll go with the 6 months in Dietrich Bank, yeah.
thanks.
Interest income.
No
And
action there, that's just what we introduced.
just to show everybody what was,
Right.
okay? Moving on then, financial dashboard, you all have a copy of it in your packet. Just a quick synopsis, we're 92% of the fiscal year. Year to date on the revenue side, we're actually plus 19% year to date, which that translates into $266,439.39. So that's the amount that we are ahead of our projected budget for the fiscal year. Under the expenditures, again, another quick synopsis, we're actually 46% below where we predicted to be as far as the expenditures go. And that translates into $2,079,181.50. So that one really looks good, and they both look good, and both in positive direction, so, yeah. Pam, any of the other notes below that you want to highlight or go through?
No, thank you.
Okay. Supplemental appropriation ordinance number 1517. And the supplemental, and Pam and I talked about this today, but basically the two things that need supplemental appropriation are for the gas fund, because the gas ran more per unit than what we had anticipated, and then also because we're paying 2 months in advance on the health insurance.
When we changed health insurance coverage, we were a month behind and now we're a month ahead, so those payments got caught up. So that's the reason for the appropriation ordinance, supplemental appropriation ordinance, so we just need a motion.
Okay, so a supplemental appropriation ordinance for 1517. We have a motion to approve. So we have a second. We have a motion and a second for ordinance number 1517. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, depositories and investment, ordinance number 1518. And the way I understand this, and Pam, you might have to correct me on this one also, It's so that we can have the ordinance where we don't, every time we decide to do an investment or deposit, we don't have to come back and get it approved, is that correct?
Updating the ordinances that we have in place now to eliminate the need for agreements and.
Still have to have a council to approve it, you still need an official resolution,
Right, no either.
Okay,
a little easier to do.
okay, very good. You do both. Okay, so do you have a motion for ordinance number 1518? We have a motion, second, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of ordinance number 1518, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Motion does carry. Any guest comments or anything for the good of the city?
Rodney, Bill wanted me to bring up the information that I sent out today for the annual Redmond Community Prayer Breakfast. I'll put this on the city council agenda. He recommend that the city pay for any city officials that want to attend that event. It's Thursday, May the 4th. I need reservations. Reservations by, but if anybody's interested in going, let me know and I'll check your question for the city council meeting.
Where's that being held, man?
Redmond Regional. It's at 7 a.m. on the 4th. Oh, April 21st is when they need the reservations by. So if you want to go and the city council's willing to pay the cost, I just need RSVP so I can turn them in and put a check request in for the council meeting.
Do we need a motion from the finance committee on that?
It's not on the agenda.
What's that?
It's not on the agenda. I'll just put it in the city council meeting.
Okay, very good. Right, any other business in the finance? Finance will adjourn at 6:10.
Okay, personnel committee. All right, I call personnel committee order at 6:10. I have myself, Peel, Doja, Weaver, and Piper. Under old business, WHR benefit study, 1 and 2 are pretty much combined together. Once again, got the close to showing up today. So you guys remember last week, there's a lot of things that we went over. We're gonna go ahead and motion to some of the little easier ones. And we'll have some discussion about everything. First is the life insurance. We talked about that last week. We went from 10. And we kind of went over it, we decided to go for $20,000 insurance policy instead. So make a motion that we go to the new company for the $20,000 life insurance. All in favor? Aye.
Wait, is that you? Sorry. Is that you, Mike? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so that's that. And then the next one is our retirement point. So we were possibly moving from $50 to $100 a year of service. As we discussed last time, the amount you get your gold is going to be lower and lower with the gold prices going up. So I make a motion to move the gold coin from $50 a year of service to $100 a year of service.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Jeremy, did you want to approve? No.
Like, oh, I'm sorry about that, kind of talking about that, my bad. So amendment motion is that we go 50 to 100 year and with the option of taking the gold coin or taking a cash payment instead.
Paul, we'll have to have an ordinance, won't we? Wasn't that by ordinance?
Yeah, that was the ordinance instead of life insurance.
Okay.
Do you want me to make it? My council, we don't do it.
Maybe make that was over.
All right, next up, we talk about the utility office clerk and billing clerk. Last time, there wasn't much discussion on this, but if you remember during the WHR study, we saw that the billing clerk and office clerk were under the minimum. And I think that even though we're gonna do a 6.5% CPI this year, then we need to move both of those job titles up $3,000, barring the FOP agreed, that they will not file agreements. Anybody?
And they agree.
I have talked about, I just want to put in motion first and I'll bring it up.
So. So what you're saying is because of the way the current contract is written, they would be entitled to. That percentage or that raise. Regardless, so we're approving, we would be approving the raise. Pending they agree not to approve an automatic raise. Even though they have one coming, so that they would double up.
Yeah. Right.
Just so we're clear. Okay.
Like second?
No, we need a second.
Yeah. Second?
What was the amount?
3,000,
Is that a percentage or is it the
it's flat amount.
arbitrary number?
I don't know, so.
I'm looking at.
Nine, I'm guessing,
What is that?
about 9% is 12% instead of 4 and then Trump. One different number.
And then that 9% would put a. In the scope of where they recommended
What?
for those two job titles.
And that's before. What do they have?
Right. That would put that position.
Whatever the reason.
Right, whenever we get to that part. So that would put them at that level prior to what we're talking about next.
Yeah.
Pending the police department agreeing not to grieve it and automatically get
Correct.
that. I'll second that. I mean, I will, but, I mean, I'm open for more discussion, but, I mean, yeah, like,
I have a question there, are we putting the cart before the horse here? Are we putting the cart before the horse?
Before
We maybe have a special FOC.
Well, the issue is, where I'm coming from, is if you don't have a motion, it's hard for me to go talk to the FOP myself. Without, if I put a number out there, so. City council might not agree with that number. If we're agreeing at 3,000, then I can also. go-
I think the question would be if it's a raise above and beyond what other positions are getting, because that's where the contract is.
Mhm.
So I was looking, I don't think a dollar amount, I think it's a question of. Right,
Well, I was actually looking at that before we came in, and it says hourly rate. And it doesn't say that the average hourly rate, so couldn't the FOP ask for the highest hourly rate? This year that, of whoever any of the employees are, that's what it says.
yeah, but it's based on the increase, not the hourly rate of the employee.
No, it says it.
No, that's not the way it's,
Okay, I mean, I'll.
I mean, that's not-
I'll read it.
I think it might depend on how you interpret it, that's not the way it's. That's not what we've ever agreed to in that agreement.
It says the increase is offered with hourly rate 2% or the same hourly hourly pay increase granted to other non-management employees. So if employee A receives a $5 raise, and employee B receives a 7, they could go to either one of them, the way this is written.
Absolutely, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I think what he thought you were saying was you could go to the highest
Yeah,
paid employee and say, I want to take,
I want
They're
these
paying.
this has got 7 driven.
I think that's the way I was understanding you just saying that.
no, what I'm saying, yeah, is that could do that.
No, the highest increase.
Yes,
Yeah, I think what you, the way it kind of sounded. you were
The
saying-
officers are hourly increases.
it doesn't, it says a non-manager's rate. It doesn't say.
Read the whole
base.
thing again.
All the opinion on this.
Here we go.
Can you explain it to us, I guess?
Yeah.
It's always been 2% or the higher increase to give to another employee. But if you give everyone 6.5%, then it's 6.5%. You could give one employee 10% on it, they don't want the highest percentage. Or dollar, like last year, you did dollar per hour. Whatever highest dollar per hour you give is what they're gonna want to. I think Ben's saying is maybe the 3,000 doesn't qualify as a.
No, what I was, yeah, that, but also that they can go, the way I read that, which I can find it in. The way I read it is that they can go for the highest hourly rate increase, even though we're giving them a 6.5%. If an employee's making $100,000, they can ask for a $6,500 raise. If an employee's making $50,000, they could, I don't know if they would, want a $3,250. That's the way, is that not the way that's wrote?
Yeah, if there's a
Okay.
higher wage employee who's gonna get 6,000.
We've just been lucky that they've asked for the same percentage.
If we give an increase of that amount
Right,
to another,
and it can't be a management.
Right, it's the non-management.
I mean, they can't just pick out whatever employee they want to say.
Yeah, they can.
Can't read that again.
Well,
Okay.
regardless, the way this motion is proposed.
Right.
This will be depending on whether or not they do this. So if they say, we're gonna agree to go after this, it's null and void, it doesn't matter because it's pending if they wanna essentially try to double dip, them just trying to get a raise.
I think what Ben's maybe saying, if we give everyone 6%. And one employee just happens to make more than a police officer, then they get that higher increase per dollar? No. If everyone gets 6%, they get 6%. Or if you give everyone $5 an hour more, they're gonna get $5 an hour. Okay. It's not 6%, whatever that works out to per dollars per.
Oh, see, that's the way I read it. It says hourly rate. It doesn't say percentage. That's why.
That's not the way we ever intended it to be, and they never raised that.
I disagree with that, and it wasn't the way it was intended, but
Could they raise that issue? Maybe,
yes.
but they haven't ever done that, we've never intended that to be. Ways to be done.
Only thing in an hourly rate is police officer. Doesn't say anybody.
Here we go. It says, increase in officer's hourly rate 2%. Or the same hourly pay increase granted to other non-management employees, whichever is greater, other. So it's any other employee, it doesn't say police officer.
Officers hourly rated 2%, or like last year, you did what, $1.77? Well, it went up $1.77. Doesn't say they can go to anybody else's.
So then what is this? Why are we all worried then? If we give the utility clerk and them extra money, if it's only based on,
Because if they file a grievance, then we gotta give them an extra $3,000.
but it's not an officer, like you just said that it's based on only the officer rate. So if we're giving Barb and Patty
Police officer.
then it's not based on. Isn't that? Okay,
No, we're giving someone a higher rate than they're going to get.
I understand that, but,
So they have a right to grieve that and try to get that same rate.
and what I'm saying is they have a right to grieve. If this ex-police officer is only getting $3,250 based on this 6.5%. But why? City employee is getting $6,000. They have that right to grieve that too, the way I would look at that. I know it's not the intention, but the way it's wrote, they have a right. You not see that?
I see what you're saying, but it's never been the intent. But could they grieve it like that? They could, and then the arbitrator will decide.
But that was, I just saw that today and you've been lucky that they haven't been agreed with, have filed an grievance because of it.
That's always been the language since the start of the union, and they've never interpreted it that way.
We've also never brought this up on the two that I found salary increases.
Can't predict what they're gonna do.
I don't.
Anyone's second? Discussion, all in favor? Vote.
Hey,
Vote. Can you repeat those, Elaine?
And the members of the committee.
Okay, Damon is an A, Peel is A, Dojan is A, Hebert A, and Reichman A.
Right, so the next up, we need to also talk about this is part-time employees. Down and we do our business, but it's going along the same lines. Last meeting, we talked about how our part-time position were underpaid. Is that there's some of these positions, they could actually go work at Air Clean or Walmart and make more money. So, once again, we're gonna talk about bringing up $15 an hour. So I'm gonna make a motion that we move all part-time employees that are under $15 an hour, get moved to $15 an hour, pending the FOP agreement and not the final agreements on moving up our part-time employees.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
yeah, I don't have a problem bringing them up to that, but I think that should be done after they receive their raise. Not before they receive the raise. They get a 6.5% increase. Some of these will automatically go over $15 an hour. And then the rest of them won't. If you do it now, then they actually can double it.
Well, when would this, I mean, I understand what you're saying, I'm not disagreeing with what I'm saying is, I guess. Well, this goes city council meeting, and I understand, it's a matter of timing, I guess. Yeah. That's because we approved the raises, those are the fact, I assume, May 1st, under meeting. So, I think I know what you're saying is, well, how do we not contradict one another?
Well. We have a motion that says we will, anyone who does not reach $15 after the wage increases are agreed upon, and we'll move them.
What's your opinion on that?
How many would it get there, you know, up in? How many would it get those? Apples and.
About 4 employees that are under 15 grand.
And what would the 6.5 be?
13, 15. They can only go 2, right? 13.99.
The $13.99. Current part-time there be $14.90.
Yeah, there's a spreadsheet. Yes, there's.
So that,
It's under new business.
so yeah, well, doesn't include the time before.
I'm searching for it too. That's fine.
I think I found it.
So even if we do the 15 and then 6.5% after, I mean. We know how many applicants we got for these jobs, which has been super minimal. I mean, would we still not be in the range of fair pay? Even if we do the 15 and the 6.5% to try to get, I mean, it's part-time.
It's probably starting at 15. Starting pay would still be 15 for new employees.
Right.
So this is kind of really not relevant to the people. About new employees. These are this.
Are we good with 15 being the starting pay? Or is that too low for this day and age?
We kind of agreed to that the last.
Well, I think the last meeting, you actually said go to 15 and 6.5%, correct? And then you said 6.5%, so we're pretty much gonna be at 16. Probably what we talked about the last meeting. Correct?
For sure, that is what we're talking about. That we would do.
Oh, I would.
No, but I would say this,
We're gonna have part-time people making almost as much as. But we answered that.
they don't get benefits, so.
That's how you do it. We currently have some part-time employees making more than our full-time employees.
Part-time
Part-time
employees.
police officer would do.
Part-time police.
Start 15. Or. I'll keep my motion. We're gonna move 15 and 6.5% from there.
Or whatever,
Pending, that's what we.
or whatever.
With that,
It's that, it's, yeah.
what?
We can work that, it's
On that side.
Yeah. So moving from that to 15. That would be. Up on the second.
You ready to have?
Yeah.
So you're amending your motion to say that, let's see. You're going to raise all part-time employees' salary to a minimum of $15 an hour. Plus a cost of living raise. Pending FOP agreement.
Yeah.
what you're saying?
We haven't increased the, we haven't approved the raise yet, so.
Right, so it's.
We'll just say,
Cost of living.
Two separate.
That'd be easy.
yes.
Just get the 15 and then the raise will apply there.
So then I make a motion that we move all the part-time employees to at least $15 an hour.
Get ready and vote, so I can do it now.
All in favor?
Fine.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, well, let's go to the annual raise, and then we'll come back to this. All right, last meeting, we decided, majority of the council decided that we want to do 6.5% for every employee. After hearing feedback, the flat increase was not well accepted. So I make a motion that we move all city employees to get a 6.5% CPI. And that would include department heads also.
Second.
Any discussion?
You're including part-time in that right now.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, one time too. So
We should include department heads.
we'll go on that next. So we'll do all city employees and we'll do part-time employees.
All city.
Sorry, non-managerial.
Hourly employees.
What did you change it to? You're just taking out the department heads.
Yeah, we'll do
right
second.
now, so we can do that separately.
Yeah, we'll do second.
I'll stick with my second, or, yeah, second.
Right, so part-time and non-managerial employees. All in favor? Aye. Vote. All right, motion passes. Then we'll do department heads. Last meeting, we decided that department heads should be 6.5 across the board, same as all city employees, to make everything fair. Discussion before I go on. Yeah, so I make a motion, we do 6.5% for every department head. To be in line with all city employees.
Second.
Any discussion?
I believe they should get the 6.5%, which should be done as a top rate. Or the lower. People. Are a little bit to upper ones.
All fair. Oh,
Wait, what is your flat rate you're proposing? Just that.
6.5% for them would amount to 238.
Like you're saying, put the 6.5% in the pool
like we did last year.
and divide it by 4 then. Then everybody gets an equal share.
I mean,
No, they don't even share. They can equal part of the pie. Share.
My opinion, if we're giving the regular city employees this part, it should be the same. Any discussion?
I'm gonna look at this. and just say, okay.
I would recommend doing 6.5 like we did for everyone else. In my opinion.
And what section are you want on?
You could just move it to council. With my lots of time to put it. Have to take action.
I said we want to vote on science.
Well, either way, it's still gonna be voted on, so.
Yeah. And my opinion, not be looking for everybody.
It's not gonna go into consent agenda, it's gonna be a separate line item. Across, and we'll still go into the discussion.
Sure.
And then everybody has equal vote. But we still,
Yeah, I mean,
either way, they still do.
So there's still
Yeah, but
a
we
motion.
vote today, we'll vote to the council on the same thing. And we're still gonna vote regardless.
But the difference would be, the vote would be for.
Yeah.
What your motion, and then it would have to be amended to the council, should that be the way it goes, so. All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and put on there. All in favor? All in favor of the motion, it's just have separate department head. Opposed? And
Well, so you're saying 6.5% total, not that, like you.
Correct, no, not correct, same as everyone's.
I'd like to process it a little more. I just said, I'll say yes, because that matter, we're still gonna come back.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, for a vote.
Motion passes. All right, that's all I got. Under new business, make a motion to approve firemen's meetings from March 20, 2023 and April 10, 2023. All in favor? Opposed? Actions, we did the part-time spreadsheet already, and public comments and do the same. Hearing none, I will close personnel committee at 6:36.
I'll public health and safety director at 6:37. Myself, Reinecker, Bieber, Debo, and Dojan are present. We have no old business. Under new business, approval of parents meeting minutes. I'll make a motion. We approve the Monday, April 10th, 2023 minutes. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
It's not April, March 3rd, March 20th.
March 20th.
April was the-
I'm looking at personnel, sorry. Yeah, part of the 20th.
Which I think
I'll still second.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, no, we did.
Departmental activity. Copy of it in your packets, anybody got any questions for John? Public comments, anything for the good of the city. One thing I'd like to bring up, more question for you, John. After Saturday night's events, a lot of people have been asking what our policy or procedure or whatever it is for setting off our sirens to. Can you enlighten us on how we make that decision or?
So it goes when there is an actual, when it's spotted, so a watch, or my watch in the morning. Apparently, we did not get the message from dispatch. There's ever one started and still on ever. So that by that time, somebody already passed. They still set it off because there was a tornado spotted in there.
Okay, so our dispatch tells us,
Yes, which they would probably give it to us also.
and that comes from National Weather Service or somebody, probably,
From National Weather Service.
okay. And then the officer sets the sirens off
Yes.
in the car. At that time,
They come here.
they gotta come down here and do it, okay. Just curious,
I know there's a lot of people question on how that happened. It comes down to a warning, which means there's one that's spotted.
Right.
Not a watch, and there's probability.
correct,
If we want to change that, then we need to change it. But
okay.
as of now, that's kind of the way it's going.
So basically, when National Weather, or when dispatch hears from National Weather Service, they contact these guys and you set the siren,
Or if we see one,
or if you spot them,
right.
okay.
Right.
So will the sirens then stay on the whole time the warning's on, or just go off once or twice and then?
It's time.
Oh,
It's whatever the time is.
Okay.
I've never sat down and time this.
so it'll be continuous until the warning's over.
No, just we'll set it off and it runs.
Okay,
And then once it shuts down, it's only for immediate, to take cover immediately. That's what the siren basically do. And a lot
And
of
it's
people-
only intended for people that are outside.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's. I don't want to say totally, most people when there's a heavy storm are not outside. The sirens are meant for people that are outside it. To take cover immediately. So. I don't.
I was up at the soccer game and people that live in St. Louis were getting texts. Do we have a texting program that we could sign up for to give warnings or get that on our phones?
Yes,
We do, okay.
So I asked about that earlier too, well, not to you though, we was talking about it, so. Who writes that text and sends that out, because we set the warnings off, I think I'm signed up for that, but I didn't get a text.
I didn't say, I didn't. Because you were texting me at the time.
Sure. Right,
So. And like I said, by that time it already passed.
My alarm went off on my phone, I wasn't even home. No, not from, it was from the weather app. And if you really want to protect yourself, turn your load on the weather app, you don't know what's going on.
That's kind of where we're at anyway. Most people with smartphones are getting this first way before we can put them out. Before we even get notified. So it's almost like we're the last ditch effort to let people know, because anybody with a smartphone is already getting alerts. If they have weather bug or national weather service.
I just thought it was weird that the news said on tornado and Hecker and there's not a siren to be heard. It's what I was saying. So,
Any other comments? Adjourn public health and safety at 6:41.
I call the cultural committee to order at 6:41. Myself, Damon, Reiniger, Hebert, and Dojan are all present. No old business. I'd like to make a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from March 20th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor? Passes. I'd like to make a motion to accept DH Speed and Resto's request to close down Brand Avenue from, they don't really give a time. Did they talk to you, Pam, at all about a time? So,
It's 9 AM to 3:30.
well, that's when they're doing the shop tour, it says. But I didn't see an actual, I'm sure that they're gonna be there longer than that. We'll just close it down from 9 AM to 3:30. while they do a shop tour, and they're gonna have a product cruise.
Second.
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion passes. A request from St. John the Baptist Catholic Church to reserve the pavilions. Pavilion 1 and Pavilion 3 minus the fees for their mass and meal at the park on Saturday, August 26th, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. A request from the Sparta Animal Clinic for use of Ranch Park Pavilion 1 minus the fees on May 20th, 2023. They mentioned that last year Redwood we provided that same service from 1 to 2:30 for them to come and get vaccinations, heartworm tests, FIV, FELV tests, microchips, and a discounted rate. I'd like to make a motion to accept Sparta Animal Clinic's request. Second. All those in favor? Motion passes. And one last one. And make sure I get this right. I'd like to make a motion to amend chapter 105's definitions for the farmer's market. As noted in our package tonight. All those in favor? Motion passes. Request from the Knights of Columbus, Evansville to collect the 4-way stop on Friday, September 15th. I can make a motion to accept the Knights of Columbus from 3 to 6:30 on Friday, September 15th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The fireman's parade resolution for street closure. The fireman's parade would like to temporary closure of Route 3, 154, 159, state highways, City of Redwood from 3:45 to 5:30 on Sunday, the 25th. So I would like to make a motion accepting that we close down Route 3, 154, and 159. 3:45 to 5:30 on Sunday the 25th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Any comments or anything for the good of the city? I adjourn the cultural committee at 6:45. Yeah, Public Works.
I call the Public Works at 6:45 with myself, David Van Hombud, sports golf, and Ryan for all present. On old business, power plant report.
The business as usual, normal generating runs as per our schedule. And we did get our tentatively, our ERS test scheduling for in June. They will finalize specific times. A little bit later once we get those.
Utilities.
Really only an aerator, still waiting to go over the equipment, and we're working on the scheduling work for the bypass and the aerator grant. And thankfully, finally, Naughty Pines lift station upgrades have been completed.
Anything else on?
Nothing else other than that.
Under new business, I'd like to make a motion, we approve the prior month's meeting minutes. All in favor? Motion approved. Next item is a concrete program request from St. John Lutheran Church. Like to want to request to replace the sidewalks in front of church using the sidewalk replacement program.
Yeah, there's a section, it's in front of their hall area, not the church section. It's not anything where the sidewalk has sunk down a little bit, and so now there's a lift between the sidewalk and the top of the curb.
I'll make a motion that we approve the concrete program request from St. John Lutheran Church.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Next item is lawnmower replacement proposal.
Yeah, just requesting approval. This is just part of our stuff that we had going on with the budget stuff and lawnmower replacement. This one actually is for one of the ones on Public Works. Just request approval of that. That would be part of the new budget cycle.
Okay, so I'll be in next year's budget, right? That's correct. I'll make a motion, we accept the, proposal from John Deere for $14,050, to replace the lawnmower. All in favor? Motion passes. Next item is a approval for a crack electric agreement on Blackjack Road.
Yes, we had an additional easement that we had, a short section of that line. And the Lance Crockett kind of asked me about it, whether we're doing that to kind of ensure that we wouldn't put any new additional lines in there. Well, we only got a 5-foot easement to kind of where that line was out. And so this agreement is basically just to say that that's the only line that can be in there. We would have additional easement still there, plus we have an easement on the north side of the property line, should we do anything else in there.
This, I mean, kind of a not too long ago.
It took a while for him to get it signed. We had this back in September, October, we had the additional easement, so then we got it signed, so then he finally was able to get there. This is just an agreement to, you know, kind of formalize everything, have it in writing. That as part of that easement, that's the only line that's.
I make a motion, we accept the, crack electric agreement. All in favor? Motion passes. Next item is approval from Metro A contract.
Yeah, just our annual contract, we set it up, I had Paul review it, everything is good and in order. This would just be for May 1st to April, May 1st of 23, April 30 of 24, for the sewer driver lagoons that we do down the plant. It's not, it's all based on gallons, roughly it's between 40 and 50 each year, split between waters, and that's included in the budget each year.
Especially having a motion that we accept, approval from Metro A,
Please.
not to exceed 50,000.
But it's on a per gallon basis, so.
Just.
Yeah, just approve the contract, because the other amount we approved with listed bills.
I make a motion, we approve the Metro A contract. All in favor? Next item is approval of a EAP agreement with Commonwealth for drug and alcohol plan.
It's recently, we had that approved, but it was only going to the end of the term of the mayor, which is April 30th. This is just updating the agreement and confirming with Paul, we can actually do the term of the mayor. So I'm working with Commonwealth to have that agreement basically updated with the dates to say May 1st of 23 until it'll be April 30 of 27. So it'll just be a 4-year term, and that's part of our drug and alcohol plan that we have to have that as part of that.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve the EAP agreement with Commonwealth. Second. All in favor? Motion approved. Next item is approval of renewal contracts with Alberta Water Services.
Yeah, this is again, stop with the term of the marriage, April 30th was the end date. This is just to set up the next go around with Alberta Water Services for the contract operations in the water department. Paul has reviewed, made some changes, so I will seek approval of the renewal contracts with changes.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal contracts with Alberta Water Services.
Second.
All in favor? Any other public comments?
Hey, Josh, I was just curious under the water operations, I know you had an employee, and you're gonna try and start sending through some of that school. We're working on that right now, so I'm working with Tim and trying to figure out when we can get timing and scheduling and what's coming up.
Any other comments? If not, I make a motion, we close at 6:51.
Zoning committee. All right, I call the zoning committee to order at meeting order at 6:51. Myself, Hebert, Schwarzkopf, Vermont, and Eagle present. Comprehensive plan and all business still on board as part of that. We're waiting grant availability. Yeah. East Industrial Park expansion project. Any changes? Yeah. Out at IDOT, I'm getting approval. And City Hall repairs, we've gotten some bids back, I believe, some different contractors. I'm letting so. I don't know that we've got any bids back to anyone out on the road with Leeway Construction, but again, I think we're looking into grant available. Splash pad update, do you have anything on that? We are currently working on selecting features that should be wrapped up this week.
The features will then be sent to our splash pad contractor, who is Vortex. They will put together another rendering like they had before with the actual selected features. And that will be presented.
All right, on the new business, I'd like to make a motion to approve requirements meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries. We have an ordinance in here, ordinance number 1516. This is to designate a park area. And this is the land that was donated by Dollar General to us. I'd like to make a motion to accept the ordinance 1516. Second. All those in favor? Motion carries. And public comments, anything for the good of the city. I have one, that I maybe should have mentioned during personnel committee, but I would like to see the, title of city engineer added back onto our, code administrator title. It used to always be on there. I think just this past year or the year before it got dropped. Just with the WHR was so detailed with their titles and things like that. I think maybe for going forward with when Jeff does retire or something like that, if we have something to base it on. That's all I had. Anything else for the good of the city? Hearing none, I will close the zoning committee meeting at 6:50.
Okay, we want recreational facilities.
Thank you. Myself, Honda, Evoy, feeling Monroe present. Under old business, Rax Park renovation project update. Jeff just covered that with the splash pad update. We could probably drop that all zone, couldn't we?
Yes, we probably have that. That's my bad.
Okay. The second one would be the Musket facilities. I attended their meeting the other night. Right now, as far as the additional lighting and building repairs, they're still working on it and there's no action to be taken yet. New business, I'll make a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from March 20th, 2023. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Parks meeting. April 5th, and public comments, anything for the good order?
Yeah, I have a question back on the Parks and Recreation Committee. Is there anything we need to do about green screens? It depends.
Yeah, we should probably have the agenda, we budgeted for them, did we not? I know we did. I just gotta add it so we can get it done.
Yeah.
I'll get on the agenda. Yeah, we'll add it to the agenda. Anything else? Hearing none, we'll adjourn at 6:55. Thank you for that, by the way.
Okay, that's the end of the committee meetings. Hang around for a little bit, got special city council meeting. Okay, we'll call the special city council meeting Monday, April 17th, 2023 to order. Roll call.
6:57. Okay, Alderman Schwartz.
Here.
Alderperson Hebert.
Here.
Alderperson Roniker.
Here.
Alderperson Honda.
Here.
Alderperson Demond.
Here.
Alderperson Levi.
Here.
Alderperson Dojan. Alderperson Keel.
Okay, we got quorum.
Final FY 23 invoices. Bonnie, do you know what we need to do here? Man? Just need approval of these invoices. Entertain a motion to approve the final FY 23 invoices. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion?
I just have one question. Josh, the cost of the Naughty Pines lift station, was that over what the original estimate was, or is that?
No, the estimate was 28. Something, so I just said 35, but I didn't foresee any other issues, so I just wanted to make sure we had our bases covered since I did not have the invoice.
Vote.
And
Hey. Motion carried. Next item is line item transfers. You have. Pam, you wanna, we have natural gas in the miscellaneous, which is the health. I make a motion that we are. What do I want to do? I make a motion, we approve the supplemental appropriation ordinance number 1570.
I got line on transfer.
I transfer funds. Okay, yeah, motion. Give me one second.
I make a motion to do the line on transfer.
Second.
Okay, vote.
Hey,
Hey.
hey,
Okay, now we're to the supplemental appropriation. Entertain a motion to approve supplemental appropriation ordinance number 1570.
that,
And make a.
oh, I made a motion. That we approve the supplemental appropriation ordinance 1570.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Hey.
Carried. CD investments. We discussed this earlier.
I'm making a motion that we do the $500,000 and $100,000 figures in a 6-month CD at University of Dietrich, I'm sorry, at Dietrich Bank.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Hey. Public, yes, comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Good.
7 o'clock.